Let me start with a question. Why can people in South Korea download a whole Netflix season faster than it takes you to make a cup of tea? While in Australia, people still wait for YouTube to buffer. And here is interesting. Romania. Yes, Romania has faster than internet than the United States. So, who has the fastest internet in the world? Who has the slowest? And most importantly, why? In this video, we will understand that. I will explain the real reasons with examples from the big countries, like the United States, China, India, Brazil, Turkey, and also small ones like Singapore and the Netherlands. By the end, you will understand not only where the internet is fast, but also why it is slow in some places. Let's begin. How we measure internet speed? First, we need to understand what we mean by internet speed. When people talk about internet speed, most of the time they think only about how fast a website loads or how quickly video starts. But internet speed is actually a little more complex than that. There are three different parts that really matter. The first is download speed. That's how quickly you can pull information from the internet to your device. For example, when you watch YouTube, stream Netflix or scroll TikTok, you are downloading the data all the time. The faster the download speed, the smoother that experience feels. The second is upload speed. This is the opposite. It is how fast you can send information from your device to the internet. Every time you post a video, share a photo, send an email with a big file, or join a Zoom meeting, you are uploading. If your upload speed is too low, video calls start to freeze or your voice cuts out. And then there is something people don't always think about: latency. Latency is the delay, the time it takes for your device to send a signal and get a response back. If you are playing a game, making a video call, or doing stock trading, latency is just as important as speed. Even if your download is fast, high latency makes everything feel slow and laggy. Now, let's look at real numbers. According to the Speed Test Global Index 2025, the top countries are Singapore, Hong Kong, Chile, UAE, and France. Most of these have average fixed broadband speeds over 250 to 300 megabit per second. At the bottom of the list, Afghanistan, Venezuela, Cuba, Yemen, and several African countries. In these places, average speeds are sometimes under 10 megabit per second. To give you a picture, at 300 megabit per second, you can download a full HD movie in less than a minute. At 10 megabit per second, the same download takes almost an hour. Big difference, right? But why are some countries super fast and others so slow? Let's talk about the biggest reason: infrastructure. Infrastructure is everything. Think about the internet like a road system. If you have big highways, traffic flows fast. If you only have small, old roads, traffic gets stuck. Infrastructure is really the heart of the internet speed. And when I say infrastructure, I mean the actual cables and networks that carry the data. Let's start with fiber optic cables. This is the gold standard. They use tiny strand of glass and send data as light. That means huge amount of information can move super fast. It's like having a brand new highway built just for the internet, wide and smooth with no traffic jams. Now, compare that to old copper telephone lines, what we call DSL. These were designed decades ago for simple phone calls, not for Netflix or YouTube. Trying to use them for high-speed internet is like trying to drive a sports car on broken, narrow village roads. You can move, but not very fast. Then we have cable TV lines or coaxial cables. These were built for television, and they do a better job than old phone lines, but they still cannot match fiber speed. Think of them as decent roads, better than old bumpy roads, but still not as fast or big as new highways. And finally, there are mobile networks like 4G and 5G. These are wireless, so they don't need cables everywhere. They are amazing for covering places where laying fiber is hard, but building thousands of cell towers and keeping them updated costs a lot of money. It works well in cities, but for huge rural areas, it can be very expensive. Now, let's look at countries: South Korea and Japan. In the 1990s, the governments decided to invest in fiber for everyone. Today, over 95% of homes in South Korea are connected with fiber. That's why South Korea is always in the top 10 for speed. Singapore. A very small, very dense city, easy to cover with fiber. The government supported the internet as a basic service. Now it's often number one in the world. The United States, here is the opposite story. In many places, old copper and cable TV lines are still used. Replacing them with fiber is slow and expensive. Rural areas especially suffer. That's why many Americans pay more but get slower internet compared to Asia. Romania, Surprise story. In the 2000s, the country didn't have all system to upgrade, so small companies just installed cheap fiber directly. Today, Romania beats countries like Germany, Spain, Denmark, and even the United States in average speed. Australia, another sad story. They promised a national broadband network with world-class speeds, but politics and cost problems slowed it down. Many people still use old copper connections. So, infrastructure, the cables, the technology, the roads of the internet is the biggest reason why speeds are different. Geography and population density. Internet speed is not only about the cables, geography plays a big role as well. Take Singapore, Hong Kong, or South Korea. These are small places with millions of people living close together in big cities. If you put one fiber line in the ground, it can serve thousands of homes. Now, compare that with Australia, Canada, or Brazil. These are huge countries. People live far apart, sometimes in deserts, forests, or mountains. To connect everyone, you need to lay thousands of kilometers of cable. That costs a lot of money, and it takes years. So many small towns end up using satellite internet. It works, but it's slower and more expensive. And then look at the Netherlands. It's small, flat, and most people live in cities. This makes it easy to build modern networks. That's one reason the Netherlands often ranks high in internet speed in Europe. So, geography matters. If people live close together, fast internet is easier. If people are spread out, it's harder, slower, and more costly. Government policy and competition. Another big reason for internet speed is what governments and companies decide to do. In some places, leaders treated the internet like electricity. In some places, leaders treated the internet like electricity or water, something every home must have. For example, in South Korea, the government pushed hard and companies competed with each other. The result was cheap prices and super fast speed. In Finland, they went even further. More than 10 years ago, they made internet access a legal right. That means every single person must have a basic connection no matter where they live. But not every country followed that path. In the United States, many towns only have one internet provider. With no competition, companies charge more and upgrade slowly. People pay high prices, but the speed is not always good. In India, the story is very different. A company called Reliance Jio started offering very cheap 4G data. Prices dropped almost overnight and millions of people got online for the first time. Today, India has one of the largest internet populations in the world. In China, the government invested money into the fiber and 5G. Average speeds are very high, but the internet is tightly controlled. Many websites are blocked. In Brazil, the situation depends on where you live. Big cities like Sao Paulo have fast fiber, but in the Amazon region, many people still rely on slow connections. And Turkey sits somewhere in the middle. Major cities like Istanbul or Ankara enjoy fast fiber, while small towns like Ardahan, the most beautiful city in the world, are still catching up. So you see, when governments and companies invest in internet, a country can jump ahead. But when they don't, people fall behind. So, why do some countries have the fastest internet and others the slowest? It is a mix of infrastructure, geography, government choices, and competition. The next time your Wi-Fi is slow, remember, somewhere in Singapore, someone is downloading a movie in seconds, and somewhere else, someone is still waiting for a single web page to load. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into the hidden world of technology.
Enjoy studying with OrhanErgun.net.